All right, welcome everybody, and Adrian. What are we doing today? What's going on?
Well, today it's Happy Aloha Friday. And
Yes,
in honor of Happy Aloha Friday, we have our guest, Bonnie Delgado. She's originally from Florida and graduated from NYU with a dance and fashion major. She transitioned to yoga to complement her surf lifestyle. And upon moving to Hawaii, she's a yoga teacher and provides healing, better performance, and longevity of the mind and body through yoga techniques. So please welcome our very special guest, the area manager of Core Power Yoga, Kapolei and Kahala, Bonnie Delgado.
welcome, Bonnie.
Yes.
Oh, thank you both. You did your homework. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Aloha. Happy Aloha Friday.
happy Aloha Friday. I just want to say my personal experience with Bonnie is she's a very kind and peaceful person, and no matter how stressful my day is, when I run into Bonnie, I feel relaxed. I feel namaste.
Oh,
Mission accomplished.
Yeah,
yay. Oh, thank you both. I try,
yeah,
I think not everybody that knows me would say that.
yeah.
uh,
Okay,
thank you.
yeah. So we always, Hawaii, in the mainland, it's like boom, get straight into business. Well, we've learned from growing up in Hawaii, from being in Hawaii for a long time, we want to get to know the person a little bit more. So Bonnie, tell us your story. Like, how did you get into yoga, or where are you from originally? How did you come to Hawaii, and then how into yoga?
Yes. Okay. Well, try to give you the Cliff Notes version, but
Sure.
originally I'm from Boca Raton, Florida, South Florida, so a little bit north of Miami. And I grew up dancing ballet most of my life, and I went to New York to NYU and study dance, and ended up kind of diverting into fashion. Injury surgery kind of diverted during school, kind of diverted my plans, my original plans, and kind of took me in a different direction, and looking into different things like fashion, which was what I was also really kind of interested in. And so I kind of did that for a while, and I worked in the fashion industry. I worked for Betsy Johnson, and it was a lot of fun. I did the New York life, Sex of the City style, just like full on fashion industry. It was a lot of fun. And, I was there for 10 years. So from college, and then several years after. And after 9/11, I kind of started looking to just redirection, and not, obviously I was in New York City for 9/11. And, you definitely reassess things when something like that happens, and it opens your eyes to so much, and so that was a time of just kind of transitioning and reassessing. And I wanted to kind of redirection where I was going, and I kind of went into education, and I worked as a substitute teacher in New York City for a while, and was kind of like trying to find my niche, and also teaching dance in a small dance school. And kind of ended up back in retail, and actually working for Quicksilver, because I also had started surfing, and that was something that, growing up in Florida, I always wanted to surf my entire life, and I
Yeah,
wasn't allowed to. I was told that it was dangerous, and it was for boys, and
yeah,
girls
Hmm.
didn't surf. So I didn't, and I kind of, that was where I really kind of, all of my focus went to dance and ballet. And and I kind of at some point in my life rediscovered this drive that I had, that I really wanted to learn to surf. And I came out to Hawaii after college with my boyfriend at the time, and we learned to surf. And then we went back to New York and bought a car and bought some surfboards, and started driving out to Long Island and Queens, 2 hours, just to go surf these like terrible mushy little waves.
yeah.
And so yeah, and then eventually down the line, just kind of realizing that it was time to leave New York, and that was not the life that I wanted. And I really wanted to have a life that I enjoyed living, and wasn't living for my next vacation, and that kind of happens when you're sometimes in that cycle of just,
Call it the rat
work.
race.
Yeah, it was the rat race for sure. And it was great for, a certain period of time. And then, my priorities shifted, and I moved out here. And you mentioned at the beginning of this session, is that, Hawaii is just such a different place than the mainland. And the most important thing here is connection. And
Yeah,
I learned that through working in retail for many years, and it took a long time to learn a lot of those lessons. And through that, and I worked for several years in retail with Quicksilver, and I opened most of the Victoria's Secret stores on the island. So the first one in Alamoana, just kind of really crazy journey of opening retail stores, and then I shifted into yoga, and kind of within that transition after I moved to Hawaii. I also I came down with arthritis in my big toe, so I had to stop dancing and started practicing yoga more, which was something that I'd also been looking into and kind of diving into a little bit, but because I have scoliosis, so that was something else along my that whole big long journey that was something that I was always dealing with. And when I was diagnosed at 14, I was really serious about dancing, and I thought that was going to be my career, and kind of diverted, and was just always told by doctors, like, just stay strong, keep dancing, keep doing what you're doing, do yoga, like, that's it, that's all that we can do for you. That's all that can be done. There's nothing you can do. So over all of that course of time, my scoliosis did progressively get worse, and it got to, when I was first diagnosed, it was about a 30-degree curvature, and it was at about a 50-degree curvature a few years ago, and up to almost a 60-degree curvature. So it was continually progressing and getting worse. And so shifting back to finding yoga, and everything kind of happened at one time. I was ready to shift careers and shift everything in my life, relationships, and I was finding myself really attracted to core power yoga. I had a friend that used to drag me there, and it became more and more important in my life
Yeah.
as I was needing to create change and needing to just find that direction that I was looking for, this whole time. And it really was kind of coming together in that place. And so
Did
uh,
did the yoga help with your
it
scoliosis and stuff?
did.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I was finding the more that I practiced, at that point in time, I was having a lot of numbness in my arms, and also just struggling to build upper body strength in my surfing. So I once I started practicing yoga, I started to notice a lot more strength. I also noticed that if I took a break, my arms would get numb more often. So I did notice a big difference and a big change in my body. I got a lot stronger, and it just kind of snowballed into, like, okay, this is what I want to do with my life. Like, I want to surf and teach yoga and practice yoga, and like do this with everybody that I know. And at the time, it didn't seem like a realistic possibility, right? When I tell my friends, like, I just want to surf and teach yoga,
Yeah.
it sounds crazy, right? Like, I'm the
I
crazy
live in
cousin in my
Hawaii.
family. Yeah, I'm that cousin in my family that lives in Hawaii and teaches yoga. Like, I'm that person. And I did somehow, I just made it happen. And uh you know again, that journey of all of the retail and the things that I had done previously set me up for leadership in with a company like Core Power Yoga. So I was able to take a lot of
And
those skills.
you opened
I
up the
did.
AAA Core Power Yoga.
Yes. Yep.
And
I
I'm
opened
Yeah.
up
so
AAA.
How
yeah.
long has that store been around, or the studio?
We are about to make 4 years in, I want to say 4 years in July. So it's a
Yeah.
little over 3 years.
And we're
Well,
so happy that it survived the COVID, because
yeah.
it was like you're
Me
like a brand
too.
new studio, and
We
then
were, we
COVID
were
came,
Yeah, we
and
were open for less than a year when
yeah.
COVID came, and we were just kind of creating our community, right? We were just
Yeah.
kind of starting to blossom. So, yeah, that community is so special.
Well, let's talk about what's on the screen there, how it helps your mind and your body. Adrian, maybe you can share a personal experience, because both of us go to Core Power. We're pretty religious and dedicated about it and going all the time. And so we know firsthand what are the benefits. But you do this for a living, and this is what you do. You run a Core Power. How does it help your mind and body from your perspective? What have you learned, Bonnie?
Oh man, it's a tool. It's such a tool, really, to just kind of set us up for success, and you know, help navigate I think really it helps you navigate through challenges. And
Yeah.
we physically navigate through challenges on our mat, right? That's the practice of yoga. We practice navigating through challenges and breathing into them, and rather than forcing things, in our bodies, right? Because that creates injury, learn how to work with what is going on in our bodies and create slow, consistent change.
Hmm.
And that is completely useful in our lives, in our regular lives. And kind of in that whole in all of my transitions, and my finding core power yoga kind of came at a time when I was also, I was looking for the physical, and of course the mental and emotional stuff came along with it, right?
Yeah.
And so during that time I was also struggling with like I said, changing things about my life. And I was in a relationship with a alcoholic. And I was going to Al-Anon meetings, and we were going to therapy, and nothing felt like I was making progress or changing anything except for yoga. Like, going to
Yes.
yoga was the thing that changed. And what changed was me and my attitude about the situation. And, it finally just really made me realize that, like, I can't change this person, but I can change me. So
Yeah.
that's what I did. And again, that's just it's a real life application of like what happens on your mat, like I
Yeah.
can't change my body necessarily right here, right now, but I can change the way that I approach this situation.
And Adrian, you had a question.
So I guess for our viewers that are not yoga experts, or like they're new to yoga, how would that work if someone wanted just to come in and try? Is it hard?
Yes, it's hard. And that's the point. So, yes, and it's hard for everybody, right? It's hard for all of us, even though we've been practicing for a long time, we still struggle, and that's why we show up. So, I would definitely not let that deter anybody, because it's great. That's the again, that's kind of the point, is to get that challenge and feel that in our bodies. But yes, it is easy to start. And our mission, at Core Power Yoga, is to show the world the incredible benefits of an intense physical practice, like yoga. So to really just show up and just not be afraid to see what happens on your mat. And
Well, and
we have a lot of beginner classes.
yeah, let's talk about
So
that. So that's C1.
C1 is what we call a beginner class, and we don't. I always say don't get mistaken. It's not because it's easy.
Yeah.
It's a C1. It's a beginner class because it's always the same. So it will be the same every time you show up to take it,
Yeah.
which allows you to learn the names of the postures and to really learn alignment. We go slower in that class, so we break down postures and alignment a little bit more, and maybe do some more demos as well. So that's a great one that we suggest for beginners. We also, I'm really excited that we have scheduled next week. I believe it's on the 21st, on Monday evening, a um, a fundamentals workshop. So we used to do a workshop called Back to Basics. I'm not sure if y'all remember when we first opened, because
Hmm.
we had so many beginner yogis at Capillet. There's a lot of a newness, around it. So we created that extra workshop, to just stop and go deeper into some of those postures. And we call it a posture clinic. When we do teacher training, we stop and break down every single posture and talk about the benefits and the alignment, and why we're doing that posture in our bodies. And so, and it really makes a difference in your practice, right? When we understand the why behind what we're doing, then it changes everything, and not just in our bodies, but whatever we're doing, when we understand the why.
Yeah,
Well, and go ahead, Adrian.
I've had some shoulder issues, and I was going through with my physical therapist, and she was like, "You're doing your downward dog incorrectly, and this is probably why this is not good for your shoulder." So I think,
Yeah.
yeah, having the proper technique is definitely that foundation. It will keep you from injuring yourself and maximize the benefits. So
Yeah, I
sitting
think, and one of
right
Exactly.
now,
the
yeah.
key things to
Hmm.
yoga is not, when you first join, it's like everything, it either sounds like a funny nickname or a menu item at an Indian restaurant. Yes,
Yes.
can I have a hot bowl of chaturanga, extra
Yeah.
spicy? And so when I first, so I can actually speak from a brand new person because I never did yoga before Core Power, and but I got really into it because for me, and I think a lot of older adults or just people going through life, we lose that flexibility because we're sitting in front of computers and doing Zooms all day. and
Yep.
what is it? The new disease is called sitting.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Sitting
yeah.
disease.
The
It's like,
standard American posture is this.
yeah.
Yep.
In
100%.
fact, I 80% of my time I'm standing up, so I have an
Mhm.
anti-fatigue mat, and then I got my foot is on
And
my
I'm
inside of
sitting on
my
my
calf.
ball, my exercise.
Oh, I love the ball. Yes.
He's on the
Yeah, I've got
ball.
everything lifted. It's all about finding, the new ergonomics, the
Yeah,
the ways of working so that yeah, we can and I think that's also, it's again that awareness right now as humans we know better, so we have to change the way that we work. So and
yeah.
it's the same in yoga.
I want to show the people the actual classes. Yoga sculpt. Tell us in a sentence or two, what is yoga sculpt?
Oh my goodness. Yoga, it's a yoga class, yoga vinyasa class with weights added. So we do reps, we'll do cardio, squats, all kinds of fun things.
And then C2. What's a C2?
C2 is a heated flow. So again, like a vinyasa class, um, similar to a C1. A C1 is not heated. So that's the difference. It's the same set sequence and it's not heated. And a C2 will have heat and it will also be different. There'll be more variation within a C2. So a little bit more
Yeah.
creativity. Yeah.
And then let's see here. We have hot power fusion.
Ooh, yes. Top Power Fusion is again another one that is a set sequence. I love to recommend this one for beginners or for anyone who's coming back from an injury. It's all standing balancing postures. So similar to the Bikram series, if you've done that series, the same 26 postures, just kind of different setup. It's in a 60-minute format, and it's a great practice. It's really healing and great for your body.
And I want to say that the app is super easy to book classes through. We
Hmm.
do that all the time. And that the what for me personally, what I like about yoga is just you guys will say thank you for taking time out of your day to make it to your mat. This is what you guys say in the beginning, and it's just you're just there for you and kind of
Hmm.
if you want to go help others, you got to help yourself first. So I really like that. I like the warmth. Talk about that. What is the temperatures? Because people are thinking like we're boiling you alive in the class, but that's not true. I mean, what's the temperature
Yeah.
like?
Yeah, it's well, and right now we actually because we're still in masks for a
Yeah.
short amount of time.
But until the
Hopefully
25th, right?
25th, that's what we heard. Yeah, we're really excited. We're just counting down the days. We're waiting for the word from, the powers that be. So, but for right now, we actually have decreased our heat levels a little bit more. But generally, we're anywhere in a C2 or a sculpt class between like 92 and 95 degrees. And
Okay.
then the hot power fusion is the hottest class, and that is up to 106. But again, it's been a little bit lower because we're in masks. So yeah, that is the hottest class, and it moves a lot slower. It's a different beast, different
Yeah.
challenge.
I want to speak to the infrared heat versus the hot air because I've,
Ooh,
I've
yeah.
been in the older studios, but Couple is a brand new one, and you guys have the
Hmm.
infrared panels. So we actually do yoga and we actually heat up popcorn. No, we don't heat up popcorn. Just kidding. But I've been in both studios and I like it because it seems like a drier, more not so sticky kind of heat, which I like.
Exactly.
And because you still have the air conditioning, so the air is being circulated, but
Hmm.
the infrared panels are providing the heat as opposed to hot air. So
Exactly.
I tell you, at the end of you know me, I'm the one that the people who have to come in and clean up. I'm the one that's still in there, and
They're
I'm
cleaning
guilty of it
around you.
because in the final pose, I just like staying in that final pose. Is it Shavasana?
Yep. Shavasana.
Yeah, I like staying in that pose because you're just kind of relaxing and gathering your thoughts, and then sometimes I fall asleep.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the whole point of the yoga class, right? The whole practice, the physical practice of yoga is really just to get our bodies ready
yeah,
to rest and meditate, right? Which is exactly what you said, getting your thoughts together and that feeling that you feel at the end of the class. You both are morning class mostly for the most part.
yeah,
And what a great way to start your day. And just, I know we're running out of time, but I love sharing this because this is a really cool aspect of yoga. And the physical practice, the asana is part of what is called Raja Yoga. And Raja in Sanskrit means king. It's the leaders, the kings. So this was a practice that was created for the leaders of the time to physically, get the wiggles out, do your physical stuff, and then go meditate, sit, get your thoughts together, before, going to work, going to do, what they do, and make choices and decisions for, the rest of us. So
Yeah,
imagine if we all did that and made that space in our lives.
or yeah, if everybody did that, we wouldn't have all the challenges we have because people would be kind of going through the world a little bit easier. If I'm brand new and I want to start this, is there an opportunity to come in and check out a class? How does that work?
Absolutely. We've got the 2 free weeks promo going on right now. So
Two
that's
free weeks.
actually always going on, 2 free
Oh,
weeks.
wow.
It does, you have to pay $1 for it. So it's actually $1 for 2 free weeks. And then you would decide after the 2 free weeks if you want to move forward with the membership or not. So you do have to put a credit card on file, but then you can also choose to move forward or not. So that is up there right now. And then look out for, we are looking to start some classes outside Ohana Yoga. We're trying to get that one together. We have a lot of, especially in Kapolei, a lot of our instructors are school teachers also. So we really want to try to get the yoga to the community and to the students. They serve Waianae, they serve Kapolei Eva, and getting the students and their parents outside practicing yoga and just doing stuff for their bodies.
I like the
love
fact
that.
that you guys do different things, because one of my favorite, and I don't know if you guys will bring it back. I hope you do, but was the yoga class that was all in Olelo or
Oh, yes,
Yes.
I know. I'm just praying. I'm waiting for Makana and Malia to come back.
Sure.
So let's put it out there. We'll just
Yeah.
when
I'll
they're ready,
message
because
her. I will
it's
message
such a
her.
magical, yes, and just especially for that side of the island too. It's such a
Yes.
magical class. So one
Yeah.
day we'll get it back.
I know we'll get it back because yoga has been around for thousands of years, and so is the Hawaiian culture. And there's a lot of similarities of
So
like
many.
pono and going to the inside journey, as I say, first before you can deal with the outside.
Exactly. And what's cool is I finally, I've been on the island for 17 years, and it's taken me almost that long to start dancing hula, and I mean, that was on my list. When I moved here, I was like, I want to dance hula. Like, I'm a dancer, I want to dance hula. And I finally joined a halau, and it's amazing how many parallels there are to hula
Yes.
and yoga and the culture. Obviously all indigenous cultures have so many parallels because they're these truths, they're these realities. And it's very cool to kind of take that as a new journey for me and how that integrates into my yoga practice as well.
Yeah, one of the pluses I'll put out there, and Adrian, you share something before we wrap it up, is that at the yoga or yoga in general or the yoga community, I really don't meet people that are like, I don't be diplomatic, but that are like upset or moving at a fast pace or rude. Everyone's pretty laid back and open and kind to each other. That seems to be the community that yoga studios attracts.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Everyone's
Definitely.
chill.
everyone's chill. We're all namaste.
That's great.
Not
So,
always. There's a
yeah.
behind the scenes.
Yeah. But you guys,
Visible
it's
to
like
us.
namaste in the front.
Yeah,
And we don't care. No.
exactly.
You're like a mullet. Namaste in the front.
Yes,
Business in the
exactly.
back.
Exactly.
Adrian.
And then I would say that, like, I've had several injuries throughout the years with, my ankle and shoulder, and, just going through the yoga practice and going through those movements has been a big part of my healing. And I would encourage anyone that is, injured or struggling, like, that yoga is a great way, and you can make modifications as well, but it's a great way to work through those, those issues that you're having.
And for you guys out there, I'll just tell you, if you're feeling sad and depressed, you come into yoga, and because you're sweating, they can't really tell if you're crying.
It's true. And crying is always okay in yoga. Crying is totally acceptable. Sometimes it's part of it.
Yeah. But I have never been to a yoga class where I felt worse afterwards. I always 100%, 100% felt better after yoga. No matter how you're going into it, coming out of it is always way better than the mood that you
sign up for those 2 free weeks. There's the Kapolei and Kahala location. Come try some classes.
Mm-hmm. We've also got Ward and Kailua as
well.
And
I'm like forgetting Ward and Kailua. We're just thinking like the ones that Bonnie's in charge of.
Yeah. No, we got all over the island looking at. We're hearing some rumors, so it's really exciting about
stuff like that. Well, what's cool is I visit my older kids in Scottsdale, so I hit the Scottsdale studio I've done it in different cities all around the United States, and you just pop in and everything's similar, you know. And
Kapolei is the best.
Kapolei is the bomb.
Yes.
We love our couples too, and our community is so amazing. Yeah,
Okay.
we love it out there.
Well, just like we do at the end, you know, we're just saying, let's go ahead and wave aloha to
Oh.
our crowd, and we hope to see you in a yoga class.